Hi guys, I'm Michael over here. I'm your Millionaire Mentor, and today I'm going to share something for you guys over here who are interested in property investments. Now, a lot of you are asking this question right now, which I want to answer, okay, is where should I buy my first, investment property? So if those of you who are getting started in property investment right now, I want to give a 101 basic right now for how you guys should invest into properties. Are you ready? Okay, so if you're ready about this, I'm going to cover the first part first. So a lot of people are talking about, where should I buy, it be this location or not, that location. So I'm not going to talk about locations right now. I'm going to go back to a little bit more of fundamentals, right? The first thing you should consider when you buy into this, and I'm assuming when you buy your first property, for most of you guys, I always recommend you go for residential properties first. So in this context, I'm going to talk about residential first. But before we talk about whether you should buy a condo, or you should buy a house or anything else, I'm going to talk about one more very basic rule. Alright, where you should buy it from also depends on something called your market type. Now, a lot of people are asking about this and I want to share it out. So, what is market type? So, market type basically means is where can you buy your property from? For example, should I buy it from what I call the developer? Now, in Malaysia, we call it developer. In other areas or other countries, we call it primary market. So should I buy from a developer? Buying from a developer means you buy a new property. Okay, so these are all new properties. Okay, or property that's off a plan. That means it has not been built yet. So this is one of the ways you can buy it from. Or number two, if you don't want to buy from a developer, you can also buy from a second area which is called the secondary market. Now, secondary market basically is all your properties which are already in existence. You have all the houses there already built, maybe 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Okay, so this is where you're going to do it. Now, in Malaysia, we have this simple word, or the tag for this is called sub-sale. Okay, so secondary market is called sub-sale market. Okay, and finally, the last place where you can actually buy a property from, if not from a developer, not from the secondary market, is the final market called the auction market. So the question you're going to ask yourself first is, before you start looking for the house that you want or the condo that you want, should you buy it from a developer? Should you guys buy it from the secondary market, from the existing market out there? Or should you go out to an auction and look for your ideal investment property, whether it's a house or a condo or anything else? So now, if you want to answer this question, I'm going to go back to the next fundamentals. Okay, ready? This on market type always falls back to the next part over here. What is your investment strategy? So I'm going to cover this as a basic right now, okay? Imagine if you're going to buy all this, you're only going to buy this for these reasons. There's only two reasons why you buy a property. Number one, this is going to be your entry point. You are going to buy only for these two exits. Now, many of you will say you want to get a loan or anything else. I'm going to talk about that into other details later on. But eventually, you will have to either sell the property or rent the property as your exit. So everybody needs to exit right now. So these are your two key exits that is very important. So I'm going to play this with you guys, okay? So imagine right now, the question you want to ask is, when entering into this market, how are you going to exit? Most people never think about it. They most think, say, hey, I'll just buy first and figure it out later. But I'm going to give you my fundamental rules on where you should buy right now. Are you ready? So if you're looking into any of these markets over here, you must figure out how you're going to exit the market. That's the most important. So let's go and run the exit test right now, okay? So first things first, let's ask this major question, all right? Can you buy from a developer? Okay, of course you can buy from a developer, right? Can you buy from a secondary market? Of course you can. Can you buy in an auction right now? And the answer is yes. So simply put, you can actually enter into all these three areas, which is the easiest way for you to now start your investment. You can enter and buy a property from a developer. You can either buy from secondary or you can buy from an auction as well. Now let's run the asset test of exit. All right, and then let's do this right now. Can you sell to a developer? Now here's the interesting part. Can you go back to a developer and ask them, hey, I want to sell back my unit to you, or I want to sell another unit to you? Will they buy back from you? And the answer is what? Right? So if you want to sell it back, right? What's the answer to this? And most answer is this. No, you cannot sell back to a developer. The developer is not going to give you a buyback guarantee. They're not going to say things like this. And even if they do, you have to see in the contracts whether will they honor it or not. So in most cases, let's talk about general cases, the developer will not buy back the property from you. The developer has only got one function, and that's to sell you a property that you want to buy. Now let's go into the secondary market right now, okay? if you're looking into the secondary market, can you sell your property to the secondary market? What's the answer over there? And the answer is this, okay? Yes, you can. You can actually sell a property to a secondary market, right? And last but not least, can you sell your property in the auction market? And the answer is yes, you can. But in most cases, when you sell it to the auction property, it's usually at a lower price. So yes, you can sell it over here, but you're likely to get a lower price for that property over there. So the ideal case over here is this would be the good place for you to actually sell. But let's look about it again, okay? So now let's talk about your next exit strategy, which is rental. So can you rent to a developer? Will the rent go to a developer? Now, yes, we've often heard of GRR, which is guaranteed rental returns, which the developer will actually do it for you. But in most cases, I would say it's a 50-50. So I'll give it a little bit of a half tick. There's going to be a question mark over here, which is a 50-50. In most cases, they don't rent it back from you. You have to do the renting yourself, okay? So, but in some cases, they do. How about in the secondary market? Can you rent your property out in the secondary market? The answer is yes. You can rent it out to secondary market. Let's talk about auction right now. Can you rent in auction? Now, this is going to be tough. Imagine right now going up to a person and say, okay, rental price now going at 1,000 per month, going once, going twice. It doesn't happen that way. So you basically cannot auction your rental out in the property market. So now, if you're looking into this whole thing over here, all right, if you're looking into this whole thing over here, as you can see, your exit strategy, the most predominant one is probably going to be only in the subsale market. All right? So you can buy from a developer, you can buy from subsale, you can buy from auction, but the highest chance for you to exit is likely to go into the secondary market. Either you sell here or you rent here. All right? So this is why I always tell people right now, if you are wanting to start property investments, at any one point, you can buy your first property from developer, or you can buy your first property from auction, or even from secondary market, but sooner or later, you must enter the secondary market. Why should you do that? It's because you must master the act of exit. If you don't know how to sell high, you don't know how to rent it higher, right? Buying it cheap will not matter to you. So this is the key market that you want to enter in first. So first thing I always recommend people to do is master the subsale market so you know how to master your exit. And once you know how to exit the market very well, for example, you know what the asking price for people are for the rentals around the area, you know what the asking prices are for the people selling around the area, and you're very confident about it, then you can enter in any of the other markets. The goal here as an investor is to always watch your exit so you can make the highest amount of profits. So I hope this has helped for you guys, all right? If you like what I say right now, like, subscribe, and share to your friends. And let's go on for more lessons where I can teach you and share with you how you can go on your millionaire journey. See you guys.